stopping free speech and culture.
Yeah.
You can't just cancel the appearance at Berkeley because of the anticipation of violence. You know, they might have to stop people. They did to Milo.
Yeah, I hear both sides. On one end, I think everyone's opinion should be heard and protest it if you want, but it should still be able to be there. But on the other hand, I think some students feel unsafe because
So, I mean, there's nothing in the Constitution that says anything about somebody's feelings. I mean, oh, you feel unsafe? Well, grow up. I mean, when I hear this crap about microaggression, hey, let me tell you about some real aggression going in this world you should worry about. This microaggression crap, that's just your feeling. Don't mean shit to a tree. Nobody cares about your damn feelings.
Well, I disagree with that. I think both should be taken into account.
I beg your pardon?
I think both should be taken into account.
Yeah, in a polite society, but when it comes to law and governing, no. We got bigger things to worry about. I mean, me and you treat each other politely because it's the social norm to do that.
Yeah.
It's the social norm to know that you don't go in a woman's bathroom because you want to keep that private. You want to keep that separate. You don't identify yourself as, I'm Shirley, 6 years old, and I'm going to go there and pull out my dick in front of another 6-year-old. You don't do that in a polite society.
Right.
There's all of this crap about what bathroom you can go in. There's never been a law in this country, in any city, any county, anywhere, that tells you you can't go in to the men's bathroom. Or me going, there's not a law that says you got. It's always been a social norm.
Right.
So what's the big deal?
Well,
Why are people making stuff up that doesn't need to be bothered? I mean, there are people that can buy and get offended by my work. Can you imagine?
yeah, well, I think it's interesting to look at. I don't agree with all of it, but...
Or do you not agree with it?
Well, let's see. See, I'm still trying to figure out what you're... Because I'm still trying to work through the... what stance you are, because I know it's not
With stance?
Yeah.
I have to have a stance.
Yeah.
It's important for me to have a stance.
Not in general.
Do I need to be
but
labeled?
What stance on each?
Well, you said there are a few things, so I'm saying what are the few things?
Yeah. So what do you mean by this?
What do you mean what do you mean by this? What does it mean to you?
So would you be saying that mom is like
I beg your pardon?
So would you be saying that mom is like
I think the entire thing's fake. I think he's fake. I think he's fake from the get-go. He's a completely CIA made-up operative. This guy was born in, I mean, if you look at his true history, which you have a hard time doing because a lot of it's hidden, but when you look at the true history of Barack Obama, the man has had 4 different names that we know of. I mean, well, he even jokes about calling himself Barry Soetoro.
Right.
That's what he was known from all through college.
What's your point?
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
What's your point?
You just stepped into this conversation,
I'm
right?
I'm sorry. I just wanted to remind you now. Lincoln Chaffetz, is out.
The point that I was speaking to about it is that we are driving into these boxes, labels. What do you mean by this? Or what side are you on? Are you for him and against her? That stuff is driven by the propagandists, the fake news.
By what?
I talked to a guy out here. He was with his family. He had no reason to lie to me in front of his family. But he looked at my take on what I think of the news. And this is what he gave me. This is a quote. I have worked as an editor for a major news network for 24 years. And the best you will ever hear from us is a half-truth to cover a lie. Unquote.
What news service did he work for?
I wouldn't tell me. I asked him and he wouldn't tell me. Which, see, there are you with your bias. You see, you've been brainwashed. See, you're in that box. You're in the blue box. You're blue. That's what you are. You've labeled yourself blue. You've cut off your intelligence, your intellect, and everything else. Your ability to even decipher someone else's opinion outside of that blue doesn't exist. It does, but you don't. Well, they're all stupid. Those are red people. They're red people. My tribe is blue. My tribe red.
That's not true. That's not true.
I said, it's not true. Then why do you identify like that every time I talk to you? How come you ask me about the label? Well, I don't know where you stand. I stand with us. I don't even believe we need these sons of bitches anymore. I mean, what was the reason we needed politicians to begin with? Tell me that. Space and time was the problem. We were busy. We were on the farm. We couldn't get to that cesspool named Washington. So we'd say, you know, hell, you look like an honest person. We're sending you. And you know, go represent us. Now, it worked fine until they stopped representing us. Well, let me ask you something. Is space and time the problem anymore? Aren't we all walking around with something that we can communicate with people all over the world just like this? Many numbers of them. So space and time is not the problem anymore, correct? Then what do we need them for? What do we need politicians for? If we can communicate on our own, if we're already changing things with our comments online, signing petitions, forming coalitions, movements, and having revolutions online, why don't we just take it to the next step? Why don't we write our own legislation? Why don't we vet it? Why don't we vote on it correctly, cut out these guys that say they represent us and never do, and keep on putting us in little boxes, dividing us, so we go around fighting with one another while they keep stealing us blind. Every 4 years they get up and go, you need me, you really need me, no we don't. You don't need them anymore. It's a big show. They put on a $2 billion big show every 4 years to convince us we're too stupid to think for ourselves.